Hey everybody! Welcome back to Northern Lion Plays the Binding of Isaac Rebirth. We are at almost our double-digit win streak. I know we did not play as Eden last time, so I'm going to play as Eden this time just to mix it up a little bit. We start Game Kid, Isaac's Fork, and we have... Dark Matter? I don't think that's Dark Matter. What is that? Oh, Eve's Mascara. I should have guessed that based on the fact that it was, you know, running down our face. 9 extra small... lasagnas, please, and if you're gonna QQ about it, Xavier's just gonna run elsewhere, and then they'll get his business. Anyway, this is an interesting start, and ooh, that worked out. That worked out real well. Let's take these first. Please don't telepills me. Range down, don't matter that much. Speed down, it's starting to matter a little bit. Let's Joker card out of here, and yeah, okay, I'll tell you what, we'll probably pick up, all of these right off the bat. That's ridiculous. Let me just do some quick math. Yeah. My math has been done, and I've determined that this run is effing 1. I don't know why I emphasized the letters as if it was going to be mathematics related when it actually was not. So, yeah, this is probably, what are we, like 45 seconds in here? It's probably the fastest a run has ever become 1, and we also picked up Tiny Planet at the same time. I know some people are probably going to feel a little bit betrayed by the fact that I picked up Brimstone right off the bat, but I am not... Oh, Jesus. Well, first off, it's not 100% 1, I guess, but I'm also not forsaking Brimstone. I consider it not only awesome, but also a whole heck of a lot of fun as well. Hopefully we end up picking up a bomb, because I would love to blow up this Tinted Rock, and that's really just absurd luck right off the bat. Not only because we got Brimstone the Pact and Guppy's Collar, and are still alive in the process, but also because we got all those... Let's talk about Brimstone specifically. We got Brimstone after getting a range down while having Eve's Mascara, which lowers our rate of fire, but doubles our damage proportionally. So, pretty much, we just got the ultimate item to counter Eve's Mascara and make sure that it's only good things instead of, you know, a little dubious. In any case, though, we do need to pick up a little HP. I'd be lying if I said I were not a little bit anxious right now. I'm not overly concerned that we're going to die. But the fear is real. I would love to actually pick up an HP upgrade or something like that, but this has the potential already to become maybe the most powerful run we've ever had. I was really hoping for a Spirit Heart there. What happens with Wiggle Worm in this strange situation? I like that an awful lot. That is cool. Okay. I'm gonna stick with that just because it's very strange. We're definitely going to take Ceremonial Robes. If we took... the nail, it would kill us. Otherwise, I would consider it, and by consider, I mean probably, like, just do it, but, this is very good. That Ceremonial Rose pickup is a huge help. There were Tinted Rocks around here, right? I'm not crazy about that. Let's try this out, because I want to see if we can maybe snag another Guppy item. I know that there is the secret room we could have accessed as well, but I will admit, my rate of fire, it leaves something to be desired right now. That's okay. Let's see what we've got in our item room. It is Gemini. Gemini is, at best, okay, but on a run like this, that's really all we need to feel a little bit more at peace. So we'll check out our mob trap room for sure. There was a Tinted Rock. Hopefully we can pick up another bomb. And hopefully we actually managed to snag another Guppy item in the process here as well. This is definitely the kind of run where I'm looking at it thinking like, you know, Boss Rush is in the cards for us. And it really should not be a loss, and I love that we have Brimstone, and it's weird Brimstone. It's not just like, you know, fuck you, I win Brimstone. This is like, it's strange Brimstone, and there's something to be said about that. It's mostly because of Wiggle Worm here, but what a weird kind of effect. Wiggle Worm and Tiny Planet, I suppose. Alright, Devil card. Not particularly what I was looking for, but that's okay. We could use a key to get into our shop, and I guess we'd be trying to buy a Spirit Heart or buy a bomb. I don't really care about it that much. I'd rather keep my key so we can go to the item room on the next floor. And we are only 3 minutes in here, and we've already gotten some... ridiculous improvements here. That's a speed upgrade, and the other one was tower card, which is... I mean, I can understand the use of the tower card, but I'm not that concerned about it right now. Okay, do we want to go to the curse room? Well, we wanna. Whether or not we will is another question altogether. I actually don't completely dislike the Game Kid as an item here either. I don't think it's particularly good, but anything that gives us some extra invincibility, you know, it helps out in a variety of situations, not just against enemies, but also on blood banks and the like. A range upgrade, that's effectively meaningless, but hey, a second key isn't. So So what are we looking for now? Honestly, at this point, I'm just along for the ride. I'm just having a good time. That was like... You know what that is? The perfect analogy for that is winning the genetic lottery. Except it's not totally perfect. But because, you know, when you're a baby, you don't know you've won the genetic lottery, and things can still go terribly, terribly wrong. However, you know, it's like, you know, popping out of your mother's womb, and, you know, you're smart and handsome and a good person, and your family is loving and also extraordinarily wealthy. Like, this is what this seed is. This is the, I don't know. I'm trying to think of somebody who hits all those criteria. I know rich people, but they're not necessarily nice. I'm not saying they're mean, I just don't know, you know? Is Paris Hilton a nice person? I know, you know, my perception of her is colored by her appearances on reality TV shows, I guess I should say, but 99 Bombs is okay. You know, Matt Damon, I don't know. Matt Damon seems like a nice and a smart guy, but is he from wealthy parents and loving parents? I don't necessarily want to push that. Why would I use a bomb for a bomb when I have 98 bombs? Anyway, it doesn't matter. What I'm getting at is this run is kind of absurd right off the bat, and that is just lovely, isn't it? Okay, that could be Cricket's head, which would actually just be hilarious for us. I wouldn't mind getting some real HP here. That's up to the game, though. The money is okay as well. Cricket's head, Cricket's head. Fate. Ah, Fate is also pretty freaking sweet. Now we just got a free ability to fly. Look, I need to make like a new run resolution here, and I can't complain. On this run, I just literally... all complaints should fall on deaf ears. So if I got a little bit of a tummy ache, no, you can't complain. You got the most incredible run of all time here. Oh, but I might have psoriasis. Nah, it doesn't matter. All you got to do is focus on this run right here because it's the greatest run of all time. Mom's coin purse. This could throw me off. Hey, Kate. Yeah. I'm having a really good Rebirth run. Yeah. I walked into the deal with the devil to start the run. Got a Joker card. Got Brimstone, the Pact, and Guppy's Collar for free.
Oh my god.
Check this out. Check out this shot. Wow.
What?
That's Tiny Planet, Brimstone, and Wiggleworm.
How is it free?
Well, I mean, I had to pay for them, but it doesn't matter if you pay HP as long as you don't get hit.
That is not free.
That's free. That's free in my book, which is probably why we are declaring Chapter 9 bankruptcy. I don't know if Chapter 9 is a real thing. That's the one where we find out that Bruce Willis was an airbender all along. Anyway, let's do this. Curse Room, make me Guppy. At this point, the only thing left on this run from an absurdity standpoint is to get even more powerful. So I welcome it. 6 minutes and 23 seconds, and we are at the end of the caves part 1. That is kind of ridiculous. You know what? Fuck the shop. I'm not going to the shop. The reason I'm not going to the shop is because we have Curse of the Blind. And I don't want to pay 15 cents for an item that might turn out to be the boomerang. So we're going to leave. And hopefully this will mean that we have a good chance to get an arcade on the next floor. If we get an arcade on the next floor, we can use our game kid to actually pick up some more HP in the process or something like that. But above all else, I'm really hoping for just like a deal with the devil here. Of course. There is an arcade. I'm not going to go to it just yet. Because we have one more room to go before our game kit is completely done. Are you kidding me? You didn't die in the process there? What else could we get here? I mean, Anti-Grav would be funny. Ludovico would be funny. I don't know. Ludovico might actually just be good as well. Alright, so we'll game kid the shit out of this. It's very nice to be in a situation where we don't have to use the game kid, like, offensively or defensively. We can just sort of, like, you know, use it to pick up an IV bag, which is something that we have no interest in whatsoever, but that's okay. Timing is looking good. And for once, you know, I'm talking about boss rush, but I'm also, like, not concerned at all about teleporting out. If they want to make us, you know, fight in the boss rush room, that is totally a-okay by me. The one thing we need from like an actual mechanical standpoint on this run, without a doubt, is well, not need, but would get the most benefit from is definitely a tiers upgrade of pretty much any magnitude. Would mean a lot for me here. Picked up a ton of cash there as well. I'm not really worried about, you know, scamming the IV bag to make sure that we get the most out of our money, or most out of our HP here. But yeah, for real, this is the only thing I can really complain about, and I'm not complaining because I already set rule number 1. Well, the rule number 1 is that you don't talk about Fight Club. Oh, Mom's Pearl is better, but come on. I'm not getting rid of Wiggleworm here. This is great, actually. that we've got such a good run right off the bat, because it gives me a chance to talk about the terrible dining experience that I had last night. And I know when I tell this story, people are going to ask, you know, give the name of the restaurant, give the name of the restaurant. I'm not going to give the name of a restaurant because I'm making the whole thing up. I'm actually not making the whole thing up, but, you know, I would hate for the business to suffer more than it deserves for just one night of terrible service, even though I hate them and hope that they do lose their business. Kate and I are in the process of... I can see forever, that's pretty good. Kate and I are in the process of moving right now, and we're doing it at a leisurely pace because we got a nice little window on either side. We don't have to move out all in one day, which is really, really nice. But her dad came over, and he was helping us move, and, you know, we spent 4 or 5 hours doing it, and then we decided, hey, let's go get something to eat. And we originally wanted to go to this, like pretty nice kind of restaurant in the area, but I called, and they were booked up for the whole, weekend. I was calling on Friday, and they're like, we're booked up till Monday. I was like, okay. So we're like, there's a cheap sushi place just around the corner. Let's go check out that cheap sushi place. We sat down, ordered our food. You know, 15 minutes goes by. Probably 15 minutes, the average time you get served in a sushi restaurant, I think. It's better. If you're ordering something weird, maybe a little bit longer, but we ordered, like, combo A, you know? We're famous for combo A. Order that. Okay, so it took them, like, you know, 10 minutes, nothing. 20 minutes, nothing. Half an hour, nothing. 45 minutes, nothing. We're definitely getting mom's key here. 60 minutes, nothing. And everybody in the restaurant's looking around and talking to one another like, where the heck's our food? So we talked to the waitress, and she's like, oh, I'll go check on it for you. It's really busy. And, you know, if you're going to lie about stuff like that, I'm not trying to shit on the waitress, by the way, yet. But we'll come to that point of the story. If you're going to tell a lie like that, you should make it so that it's, like, believable. Because we were looking around the restaurant, and we're like, there's nobody here. It's just like, there's, like, 5 other tables in this restaurant, 2 servers and 2 sushi cooks, sushi arrangers, whatever you want to call them. Anyway, she comes back and she's like, yeah, your food will be right out, because we were about to leave, actually, because we've been sitting down there for so long. She says, your food will be right out. And then she goes to us and she says, next time, if you want your food quickly, you should order it over the phone when you make your reservation. And we were like, oh, hell no. Is that the way restaurants work? See, I've been to, you know, more than one in my lifespan, and I was always under the impression that you go in and sit down. You don't have to pre-order your food. At least if you're gonna pre-order my food, you gotta throw in, you know, a 15% discount, or maybe, you know, some extra costumes or something like that, or an extra copy of Civ 5, you know? But, yeah, she basically was like, you know, if you want your food quickly, like, as if it was like, oh my god, these people want their food faster than, you know, within an hour of them ordering it. It's raw! Like, in a good way, though. Anyway, so we were pretty pissed off, and, so is everybody else in the restaurant. Like, literally, all the people around us were, like, talking to each other. And they were going, like, can you believe it? We're still waiting for the sushi from this place? This is ridiculous. And then, it eventually came, and it wasn't very good. So we won't be going back. But, I thought it was hilarious, because right as we were getting ready to leave, like, I was just about to pay. Of course, they did not offer to knock anything off the bill, either, because that would be ridiculous. It's pretty normal to just go to a, you know, discount sushi place and take 90 minutes to get and eat your food. But anyway... a large group came in, you know, 6 or 7 dudes looking pretty hungry. And then the hostess was like, just so you know, like, it might take you a little while to get your food, like 20 minutes tops. And then when she said it, I kind of like did the up nod. You know, I think you know what the up nod is. Do girls have the up nod as well? They probably have like a different signal for it, but amongst Canadian males at least, the up nod is kind of like, hey stranger, I got some important information to convey to you. You know, it's like a nod to get their attention, like, hey, hey. So I did that, and I caught the dude's eye, and I just shook my head and silently mouthed, no. Like, just give him the signal. I was doing him a solid, telling him to get out. So he looked at me. At first, I think he thought I was like threatening him. He's like, what do you... Don't come here or you're gonna like fucking kill me or something. But I just did it one more time, and he kind of like, he gave me an up nod, but it was like a quizzical up nod. I mean, not quizzical, but like an understanding up nod, which is a great name if you're looking for a Twitch username. But anyway, and then he turned to his friends and he's like, you know what? I don't know if we really have 20 minutes. And then he turned and walked out, and he walked by the window. We were sitting next to the window, and he gave me like a down nod. And the down nod is a nod of respect. That's a nod of thank you for saving us there. And that was my good deed, and it felt so good. And normally I'm the kind of, you know, I'm a quintessential, almost stereotypical Canadian. So when I have bad service at a restaurant, I'm like, you know, that's all right. I'll still tip. It's not the server's fault. And, you know, I might even go back to the restaurant at some point in the future. Because I don't want, like, one bad night to ruin, you know, a family's small business. Whenever I have a bad experience at a restaurant and I get righteous about it or self-righteous about it to point the spotlight at me as much as possible, I always envision, like, some old grandfather and he's, like, poring over receipts and, like, looking at Urban Spoon and Yelp reviews and he's like, it's always been my dream to open a falafel restaurant in downtown Vancouver, and it's coming crashing down. And I'm like, oh, don't worry, Grandpa. You know, everybody has a bad night. This place, I was like, fuck it, man. Looking at other reviews, the reviews were like, you know, service was bad like 8 months ago. Oh, thank you, Holy Mantle, for giving me, you know, even more overpoweredness on this run. So I hope that restaurant goes out of business because I'll admit, okay, I swear to God, I'm going to preface this by saying, because I know a lot of you will be employed or previously employed in the service industry. People say, you know, there's no reason not to tip your servers, no reason not to tip your server. When our server said if you wanted your food, you know, I didn't want them to be like, oh, that's so hard for you to be here, take a free appetizer or something, because mostly we just wanted to get out. But when the server was like, if you wanted your food quickly, you should have pre-ordered it over the phone. I was like, well, you know, you could have had sympathy here. Like, you don't run the restaurant. You don't make the food. It's not your fault that it's coming out slow. But then I was like, oh shit, she's complicit. she's part of the problem here. So yeah, I left 0 tip, and I still feel a little bit begrudgingly bad about it. I didn't leave no tip to send a message. I left no tip because it didn't deserve a tip, you know. It costs us a lot of our time. It's valuable time when you're moving, man. Nobody wants to move longer than is necessary. But anyway, I hope that you understand where I'm coming from in that one. Not that I need to justify myself for that. And I'm sure the comments will be all about whether or not tipping is necessary anyway. I will say that, you know, I lived in Korea for a year. No tipping. It was awesome. Kate and I just got back from Japan semi-recently. They don't do tipping there either. At least, not at most places. We actually, I am embarrassed to say this a little bit. Ugh. Necronomicon. I'm embarrassed to say this a little bit, but we ate at a TGI Fridays once. And my excuse is that, A, I've never eaten at a TGI Fridays, and I could not resist the novelty of eating at a TGI Fridays in Japan. But also, we were at Universal Studios, Osaka. And if there's ever a time to eat at, like, an American chain restaurant, I think it's when you're at an amusement park. Anyway. They added a gratuity there and at some other Western restaurants, but at most restaurants, no tipping. It's awesome, but I understand, you know, if you have a problem with here's my philosophy at least. I'm not trying to say you should or should not tip. That's up to you and then the people you dine with. However, people have a problem with the policy of tipping because, you know, they think that the restaurant owners should pay their servers a fair wage. I agree with that. I think it would be nice if they didn't have to depend on tips and instead rather, you know, just got paid a more livable wage. And I know that oftentimes servers do well on tips. I'm not trying to say that they get the shit end of the stick. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. However, I don't think the proper way, in my opinion, to deal with that is to punish the server for the policy that has existed for like 80 years. So, you know, take that up with your local legislator, local lawmakers. That's what I'm trying to go for there. But anyway, I don't really care either way. If I'm dining with you and you're like, I'm not going to leave a tip, I'll just leave a tip. That's okay, because I'd feel bad about it otherwise. But I really, like, I did not think... I've realized, by the way, that I'm not talking about Isaac at all, but this is, like, the perfect run to not talk about Isaac at all, because we're just going to win. I even got a teleportation card to take me out of the boss rush, assuming we get there in time, which we definitely will. I really did not think that experiences where you're, like... Let me put it this way. You know on, like, Bar Rescue or any of those other, like, Kitchen Nightmares type shows where they go to a restaurant and, like, they put broken glass in your drink or something like that, and then they're like, why are you putting broken glass in the drink? And the server's like, fuck you, I do what I want. I've worked here for 8 years. Don't tell me how this shit is run, John Taffer. Tapper, maybe? I can't remember. Oh, we can teleport out, so we might as well just go for the boss fight here. This was, like, it was that experience, and I was like, oh, those places actually do exist. And on the one hand, I really want Kitchen Nightmares to visit this restaurant. On the other hand, I hope that everybody in the familial line involved in the running of this restaurant, not just familial, but professional as well, and I use that word loosely, I hope that they go out of business and get jobs that they're actually good at. Because, man, that place, it's just sucking people's time away. Triple shot does work with brimstone, right? So how is this shit gonna go down? It's going to take me 100 years to charge it, but it should do a ton of damage when it actually lands. Okay, this is beautiful. Oh my god, you would not believe the charge time. I'm tempted to teleport out, but at the same time, we can get a free item for sticking with it. So that's the amount of damage we do with a full charge. It takes a long time to get to that full charge, but I think if I time it appropriately, I should be able to take out the enemies like as they spawn. Yeah, this is what I'm looking for, is just take out like multiple waves at the same time. Obviously with an enemy like Blast Assist, that gets shit on, which is unfortunate, but yeah, you know, I'll stick with this in the hopes that we actually end up picking up a good item as a result. We may or may not, that's okay. I doubt we're gonna really suffer too much from our time spent here. We do need a Tears upgrade, like desperately. I would really, really desire some form of Tears Up now that we have this triple shot weird wiggle worm brimstone nonsense, but for now it's just lovely. This is fantastic. Anyway, that's my spiel about dining. We're not snobby diners at all. Maybe I have high standards when it comes to food. I'll admit that, but for the most part, you know, I'll eat like, you know, bacon grease straight out of the pan and be like, yeah, it's energy. But with service, I'm always very understanding. I was amazed to have someone say if you wanted your food quickly, you should have ordered it before you showed up. It was like a sit-down restaurant. It wasn't like there was a counter and then like 2 stools in the corner. It was a place with like 10 tables, 15 tables. Anyway, but it's still alive. It's been around for like a year. I'm amazed. And this is how Canadian Canada is, because if you look at the reviews for the restaurant, they'll be like, well, I'm gonna give it a positive review even though I didn't like the food and it took 12 hours to arrive. Just because they're new, I think they got some kinks to work out. This is from like a year ago. That's, you know, there's something to the Canadian stereotype that, you know, we're perhaps polite to a fault. It's something to be proud of, I think, in some cases. In this case, maybe begrudgingly kind of, you know, self-aware about. Anyway. Alright, we're almost done with boss rush here. If I could just... We should go for the horse first, because, like, we can probably just land, like, one shot here. We want to make sure we're trying to line them up appropriately. Let's kill the spawner first. And this is our last wave. That didn't quite kill everything, but we can't be off by much. There we go. And we got Bum Friend, which is not really what I was looking for, but that's okay. Let's head down to the next floor. I'm really interested to know what your worst dining experience is. Maybe I've been very lucky, but I haven't had that many terrible dining experiences. I've had to walk out, you know, of a couple places before the food arrived, but extremely rarely. And one time I had to walk out before the bill arrived because my friend and I had to be at class. We had like a 2-hour window, and we kept asking for the bill like half an hour before our class. Kept asking for the bill. Then it's 15 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes. Bill doesn't show up. We just threw down like what we had cash-wise in our pockets on the table. We had to go. And there's been one time where we ate, and it almost had like an Office Space style argument. You know, like where Jennifer Aniston works at the TGI Fridays. Weird coincidence, I guess. And she's arguing about the pieces of flair. We had like an argument like that at a place that we ate at. I was like 5 though. It was a long time ago. Most places pretty well run. I don't know. I've never had food poisoning or anything like that. I consider myself lucky there. That's about it. You know, I'm completely out of the loop with where we are at all on this Isaac run. I'm like, well, we got Holy Mantle, we got Brimstone, we got Eve's Mascara, we've got Triple Shot. You know, we're killing pretty much everything in one single hit. I'm slightly disappointed because this is not going to go down as the most powerful run I've ever had unless we pick up something incredible. And it really did have the potential to be that. But that being said, it's still like, it's up there, and it's probably the fastest I've ever started to ball out of control. Like, it's ridiculous how quickly this run became the stuff of legend. The first curse room, a Joker card that gave us Brimstone, a Guppy item, and the Pact. The Pact was important so we could actually take all the items and still have a good chance to live. But anyway, yeah, a fun run and a good run to have because that dining experience is fresh in my mind. By the way, I want to say, you know, thanks to all the or a sincere showing of appreciation for all the people that do work in the service industry and have to deal with shitheads on a daily basis, you know? Customer is always right even when they're being a shithead kind of people. Mad respect for that. That's why I'm gonna, whenever like a service person, like a waiter or a cashier or something like that is a little terse, I'm like, you know what? I get it. You gotta deal with people. I rarely deal with people, and I hate it. I very rarely have to do it. So if you had to do it like every single day, you've got my utmost respect. I actually used to work at Goodwill. I think that's a worldwide chain, but you know, Value Village is kind of similar. Basically, like you take in donations, particularly of clothing, and then you sell it, and the proceeds go to charity. A certain amount of the proceeds, anyway. And so all the stuff is by donation. I was still young. I was like, I think I was 18. Anyway, there was like a bin where there were blinds, so people would donate like blinds and curtains and stuff like that they didn't need. And this lady calls me over and she's like, "Hey, you know, it's a tall bin. It was probably like a 4-foot high bin." And she's like, "You know, can you get in that bin and look for me? I think this blind is missing a part." And I was happy to do it. I'm like, you know, that's my job here. There's no reason the customer should have to, you know, get on there or like jump inside of this dirty ass barrel and get it. I get paid to do it, so I'll do it. And I went through it and I was like, you know what? It's not in there. The piece you're looking for is not in there. It must have been donated incomplete and we didn't notice. I apologize. And she's like, "Oh, that's okay. Could you guys order one in?" I was like, "Bitch, please. This is Goodwill. What do you want?" "Yeah, I'll order in a fresh set of blinds for you so you can buy them for $2.50. People are crazy, man. It's like there's that website, I think it's called, we don't want that. It's called notalwaysright.com, and it's for stories of dealing with customers, basically, when customers are being assholes. And we've all been that asshole customer, I think, even if we don't think we've been. I'm sure there's times where I've been that asshole customer and thought I wasn't. But anyway, I'm pretty sure like 95% of those stories are made up, just like, well, the people are impotently kind of standing there wishing they would say this to their customer, but the 5% that aren't, the 5% that aren't are so ridiculous that I believe the 95%, if that makes sense. Anyway, this has been a rant, but there's been nothing else to talk about on this run. Are you guys excited for the Rebirth DLC? I'm like excruciatingly excited for the Rebirth DLC. I'm gonna give you a quick, this is not planned or anything like that, a list of things that I would like to see. Number one, more items, no question about it. Would just love to see more items. I miss that about like when Rebirth first launched, and you pick up an item and be like, not only do I not know what it is, but I don't even know what the picture is. It's the Hermit card. I think we want to stick with this. Like look, like Magic Fingers. You look at it and be like, ah. Eventually you kind of get it, but some people still think it's a toaster, my wife included. I don't know why a toaster would be called Magic Fingers. Keep out of that, you know, Sears appliance section. I'll tell you that much. But, like, completely being in the dark about what things do. I miss that feeling. I wanted to come back. And if you don't, well, I'm sure that the descriptions, whether correct or not, will be on the wiki within, like, you know, 15 minutes of the game's launch anyway. Number two, hard-coded synergies that probably, you know, should have worked in the first place, or you would think that they would work in the first place. Like, stuff like Brimstone Monstro's Lung, allowing you to puke out, like, a variety of Brimstones. That would be sweet. I don't know how it would work. Brimstone Rubber Cement. You know, people are like, well, Brimstone Rubber Cement would just bounce off the walls and never end. Okay, well, you know, they have control over that. It's not like it's actually within the world of physics here. They can just say, you know, bounce once, the end. Like, bounce once at a 45-degree angle, don't bounce again. And they can program that logic themselves. So that excuse makes no sense to me. Anyway, not that it's a terrible thing. There's lots of synergies in Rebirth, but I endeavor to see more. Please stop doing that attack. Okay, I'm gonna wait for him to show up again, and then I'll just pop him once. This is going to come across as, like, humble bragging, but I hope that they add kind of a true hard mode. And don't tell me the Lost is true hard mode, because the fun of Rebirth is not dying once, I think. As much as I did have fun with those Lost runs that I won. The fun of Rebirth is in, like, starting not very powerful, and then getting super powerful over the course of, like, 45 minutes, and then having a chance to beat a run. In my opinion, at least. So I hope they add, like, a true hard mode that is actually substantially more difficult than normal, and marginally more difficult than hard mode is right now, because, look, I probably should not be winning consistently like 15 runs in a row. That's just my perspective. I would actually like to lose a little bit more. And I mean, part of the reason I win a lot is because I play a lot and I'm pretty skillful. And I don't want the game to be rebalanced for players that have put 1,000 hours into it. But I think if there was an optional, super high level, like true hard difficulty, I would be into it. And I'm sure, you know, Cobalt's busting off like 120 win streaks consistently as Eden. He's a much better player than me, but, you know, I'm sure he would welcome it too. But maybe I'm not going to put words in his mouth. I mean, I guess this is good. I have no idea what Cursed Eye is going to do in our situation here, but I'm going to take it anyway because it's ridiculous. Apart from that, I don't really have that much on the dome piece right now, but I'm just excited to see what comes out of it. I'm really, I was gonna say jazzed because I'm 100 years old. I'm really jazzed about the changes that might be coming to Afterbirth, and you know, I'm one of those players that basically does not care about the lore at all, but new lore, I guess, like new story stuff and cutscenes wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, I suppose. I would really like rather not use my brimstone shot to take out the haunt or to take out the little haunts, because we only get like one shot every 336,000 millennia. So if I get hit here, I don't really care. Yeah, we have Holy Mantle anyway, which I completely forgot about. But anyway, this has been a good run. I've had a fun time with it. I hope you've had a fun time with it as well. That's a very strange drop. 3 keys. I guess that's a mystery sack in action there. I'm interested to see what people really want to see more out of Afterbirth as well. I think the number one thing, there's 2 things on the subreddit that seem to be popping up. One is Isaac needs to be more muscly, apparently. The other one is like reworking the Lost. I'm not gonna be a dick and say like, oh well, I already did the Lost, so I don't think you should rework it because that wouldn't be fair to those of us who did it the old-fashioned way, the way it was intended. And I apologize for using that accent as like a shortcut to ignorance. But anyway, I don't really care if they rework the Lost, but I do feel that if you rework the Lost so that it's like, it's better, you lose the spirit of the Lost, which is that it's like a total asshole. It's a gated skill check for real Platinum God, but I guess that's a difference in philosophy amongst people. There are people out there who feel like there should not be a skill check to get real Platinum God and unlock all the items in the game. And all that it should really be is a dedication check. You know, if you put in X number of hours, you should be guaranteed to get it. I don't necessarily agree or even really disagree with that, but it's just a difference in philosophy. I like that only, you know, maybe 2 or 3% of players actually possess the necessary experience and skill and luck to get real Platinum God, and, you know, that's obviously probably colored a little bit by the fact that I already have it. But anyway, thanks for watching this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, click the like button. It helps out a great deal. And, of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. But for now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.